Hello my guys, welcome to the channel. Today we are doing a somewhat impromptu video. Perhaps it's something I should do more each week because every Tuesday CG does their regular update of the game. Every 2 weeks it's a more major update like this one here where they release new characters or touch kits or whatever it is. And every other week they do minor things like bug fixes and so on. So maybe every other week we should be doing some discussion on what they're doing. Anyway, they announced Captain Drogan. Pronunciation, haven't checked it. We're going to go with Drogan. Of course, he is a brand new character they made just for the game. And he is designed specifically to fit in the GL Leia team. Plus, he is one of the characters required for the GL unlock in a short while, which we're going to get onto her in a minute and how he ties into that. But first, just looking at him, I mean, he's not a bad character model. I mean, it's difficult because he's made of character. I can, they don't know the first thing about him, right? Presumably he is a soldier on Endor during the Battle of Endor in Episode 6, I guess. He's a rebel fighter, so presumably he fits in with Saw Gerrera and Mon Mothma, as well as presumably with Princess Leia, or I should say GL Leia. He's an attacker, that's cool enough, and all that kind of thing. Then you see key attributes: can dispel and spread burning. Okay, burning, we like burning. Enhances allies with new keen stratagem buff. Always with the new buffs. Whenever they bring out these new characters that change the meta or try and improve the meta or whatever it is, how often do we see new buffs? More complicated the game every single time. Powerful damage potential. I will believe that when I see it, to be honest. We'll see how that goes. Inspiration, yada, 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 yada. I know this bit's important though. Designing Drogan was to remove the possibility of taking Commander Luke Skywalker, which actually is an interesting thing because you can see the Rebels quite nicely right now have the Luke, Han, Chewie team, C3PO team. They have the Mon Mothma team, Rogue One. We have Saw Gerrera, I suppose, as well. We have Phoenix Squad with Rex now coming back into it as well now at the bottom. So you have like 4 or 5 Rebel teams. So to make another Rebel team that doesn't pull off too many characters from any other team or breaks any other team, it's really important, really difficult. So they've clearly thought about this to try and stop CLS being ruined by Leia, which I'm not sure I'll agree with that because of a pure lore thing. I do like the idea of Luke and Chewie being on the same team with Leia in Endor, but Captain Drogan really shines on the GLE, but also works. Yeah, there you go. It's Saw Gerrera and Mon Mothma. Okay. Here's unique buffs. Damage basic, synergy. Okay. That's how it opens for Drogan. Okay. I mean, this one's one that we'll find out, I guess, once we actually get the character on Thursday. It's Thursday because it's a marquee event. Every Thursday we get marquees. I don't know. I mean, I always find that CG, for all their goodwill, don't exactly know how to play the game the best at times. So I'm sure people from the community will test that out and check out for sure how that works. But of course, we can't test Leia for some weeks at least yet. We don't know when she's going to come out, but I would assume October, end of September, October. I would guess like a month from now is what I would be aiming for. I think maybe it will be a complimentary addition to the GL with certain people. Okay, that's interesting. We'll come back to that. The thing I was going to write you at the end of this is the GLA team, how that works, but we're going to come back to that. Okay, blah blah. Works on Endor, Rebel Alliance, yada yada. Marquee event, yes, Thursday as always. Definitely do it. Always cool. Details. We're going to skip over this because this stuff here. This is all into his kit, and we can come back to that. I mean, this bit here. Leia is going to be a tank. Interesting. We'll come back to that again when we talk about Leia. Let's have a look at it. Okay, first thing, animation shoots a person. Yeah, he shoots a person. Zeta on the basic. Interesting. Deal special on a target if you can't be evaded. Okay, that's nice. It says turn stun target. Okay, that's nice. You have to turn Drogan's turn and Empire. Okay, that's interesting that they call it Empire because I mean, it's one thing about GLA is there's only one Empire team really that's at the same kind of level, but we can fire support. Gets a 5. That's nice. I like that. It's just like a little turret like Arc Trooper, but I mean, it's not a permanent turret like Arc Trooper, but it looks nice. Dispel all buffs and deal special damage twice. Okay, so they debuff special in the 3rd time if it's burning for 2 turns. If time was already burning, if it's a random enemy that doesn't burn. Okay. Battle plan. Yeah, okay. The animations are not great. Dispel all US and target ally. Okay. At the end of the battle. Okay. Can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. That's the boilerplate text for we don't want anyone else to use this. Call all allies with it to assist. Okay. So it's a bit like, for example, Grandmaster's Training, where only ones who've got Grandmaster's Training can be done for the swarm attack when Yoda calls for it. Drogan, target ally, and others with this gain 20% protection. Get a little bit like Yoda there. If target ally is a rebel, gain an extra 30. Okay, so the thing is you can use it without rebels, but rebels work better. Okay. Offense potency. Yeah, I mean, that's nice because you're going to be getting. I guess the potency is nice because you'll be landing debuffs. I guess that's the idea. They want to be able to hit burning and other things, I suppose, is what they're trying to push for. Drogan has 50% potency. Whenever his Temi is reduced, he recovers it. Okay, so that means Leia's team. Okay, that means Leia's team is susceptible to Temi reduction. If that's in the text here. Okay, 60% offense once per turn when Temi reduced. First time you're going to use a coordinated shot, does 70% more damage. Okay. Drogan deals 30% less damage. Always with the less with the assists. I don't really understand the less with the assists. Okay, 5%. Basically, if once you have this, it feels like you get a whole bunch of bonuses every now and again randomly throughout the fight, which seem to be doubled often for rebels. He gets 100% protection for ally is a rebel tank. Okay, I'm trying to think of any rebel tanks that are leaders. I can't think of one. So yeah, it's probably. I mean, I guess Stormtrooper Han is, but that's a pretty sucky one. Migrainer has 50% max health. Okay, so it's the Omicron. Is Omicron? Yes, Omicron. How about the leaders? Immune to ability block. Nice. So the Tony dispels the deals from another random ally. Nice. And recovers 20% health protection. Nice. I tell about leaders of rebel support. So that is Mon Mothma, I suppose, right? Rebel fighter support, or is that Saw Gerrera? I suppose it's Mon Mothma. Well, I'm gonna look at that in a second. But there are a few interesting bits here. So the kit itself is fine. It doesn't seem like a super exciting kit. It doesn't seem like a super complicated kit either. There are a couple of interesting things to pull out, right? Straight away. First is Leia as a tank. That's interesting. Because none of the other GLs are tanks, right? So Kenobi, actually that's not true. Jedi Master Luke is a tank, but Palpatine, Vader, Kenobi, Rey, Kylo, Jabba the Hutt, these guys are not tanks, right? So Leia in a tank is quite interesting. It's the first thing that is obvious when you read this kit. The second thing that comes out when you read this kit is in right here, this line, right? So they're basically saying R2D2 is part of the best team for GL Leia. So they're saying it's Leia, Drogan, R2D2, and two others, which we don't know yet which two are going to be best, of course, until we actually use the team. Yeah, I'm not sure which ones will be obvious in the team, but if GL Leia is a tank, that means you don't need a tank in the 4th or 5th slot. So you can have attackers or support characters quite easily. So that would be interesting. Plus, it looks like characters like Drogan, for example, given a lot of health and protection, healing through the fight, so you might not even need a healer in one of those two positions there. This bit's all thing. This bit here is interesting too. Empire. The only GL that is Empire based is of course Lord Vader. You know, his first Empire, and often you have Darth Vader in the team. You have Thrawn in the team, Piet in the team, Royal Guard in the team. Maul is not, of course, Empire. But many of the characters are actually Empire characters, and of course Starkiller's team, you know, Mara Jade and Palpatine are Empire characters as well, right? So it seems like they're trying to call out either Lord Vader specifically, but I mean they're saying it's law based obviously because he's a rebel, and rebels fight Empire, so that's cool. But it feels like they're trying to call out fighting against Lord Vader with this bit here, with some of the bits here, like when they mention Empire. Burning again is interesting. Burning is going to be a part of Leia's kit, I would guess, because if they're saying R2D2 and Drogan are doing burning, then there's something in Leia's kit that says if burning exists, X happens as part of that. So there's clearly some kind of synergy that they're hinting at, both with the beep boop bit up there, plus also the fact that the burning is a really important part of his kit. Like it's actually named after his ability, right? It's a flamethrower. And the last thing that's quite interesting, I think, is that it's a Grand Arena Omicron, because they're clearly recognizing Grand Arena, right? And they know we like that best. So that is it. That's all little interesting bits um, to do with Leia. Now, before we talk about Leia, the other thing they did today was they touched up Lobot. Now he's a terrible character, quite frankly, um, and they took him from a terrible character to a slightly less terrible character. I would say when I read this, I'm still kind of like, yeah, it's kind of still it's like whatever. So they took this very very simple basic that had all this green text to it to make it. I mean, Inflict didn't really. I guess they just go for 100%. That what they mean is 100% chance. I guess when why they changed it like that. Target lock against foresight. As light side draw, which is shorty. All light side drawers get defense up from turn. And then defense down and get target lock. So target lock coming in there quite a lot. No change in this one, which is weird, but okay. No change to lead. They changed the name though. I guess that's cool. But no, that doesn't really make a thing because they changed it from negative to debuff. Because that's what, of course, when the game first came out, they used to call them negative and positive stats effects, but then we have different types now. So they call them debuff specific because, of course, things like, say, ferocity is not really a debuff per se. It's negative. Actually, it's not a negative per se. It's a debuff. I'm sorry, nomenclature correct. It is a debuff, but it's not really negative because it does actually make Darth Vader stronger. So they're basically clarifying some of these now as they update kit to remove negative stats effects from the original characters. Okay, they've changed this bit. They're going to new build. Okay, so this used to be how terrible it was before. Now you get all of this. Okay, foresight. So basically, Lobot, they're trying to say should be used in a shorty team with BB-8, probably R2D2, and T3M4 because they got those guys there generate stealth and foresight, especially BB-8 and R2D2. So then these can really work on this bit here. You can also T3M4 does this. He cleanses debuff, so again that's nice. Gains 10 meters again coming from shorty. I'm pretty sure. We'll use the basic ability, speed up. Okay, very specific 5.5. I don't know why 5.5. That's very randomly specific. I feel like that's something because these all say 55. So I'm sure someone should tell me in the comments if you know anything about Lobot. I feel like it is. That's actually not bad, but it really does narrow down to one team only. The way they've written it, like a shorty, Lobot, R2D2, BB-8, and the T3M4 team. Like that's it, literally to make the best of him. New ability: if the ally is a light side droid, again, shorty. Gives the droid attack plus all potency and speed, because that's nice, speed buff. Maybe the debuff. If you target an enemy that did, okay, that's nice as well. Okay, target a lot going on. Basically, yes, target damage and the assists, that's nice. Have allies at foresight, which of course we've got this whole foresight bits here. 50% critical chance, and whether use a basic if it's speed down. Alright, so I mean, actually, maybe I was understanding. I thought it was pretty average at best when I first read it through, but actually, that's not bad. That's not bad actually at all. So yeah, okay, I will feel better when I'm leveling Nobot in a few weeks' time, because in the minute I'm almost finished the Grand Inquisitor farm, and then we're going into Leia after that. So because I have Princess Niece at 7-star, so I only have to get Scout Rex and Drogan to 7-star. Of course, he hasn't come out yet, Drogan. So we're doing okay. We're probably going to be like a month or two late from when she comes out, but we're not doing super badly. So Leia. Now just to remind you, so they release this about Leia. Was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? They were just talking generally about Leia, and they did say, and they said this here more than once, they're trying to make a team that's strong without pulling away enemies from the CLS team in particular. It's interesting they pull out CLS in particular and not Mon Mothma, Saw Gerrera, Rogue One, Phoenix, or anything like that, because there are a lot of Rebel teams, right? It's interesting they're just calling out those ones there. So they're deliberately calling out, we're not going to try and take CLS, we're not going to try and take Han Solo, we're not trying to take Chewie, C-3PO out there, which means that I presume C-3PO's translation doesn't help very much for this team in some way, because that would be obviously very nice if translation could help this team get faster. R2D2 is obviously coming into this because they've told you to relic him and they mentioned it in another kit. Drogan, again, they mentioned that before and they said, look, Drogan's going to be involved. He's going to be in that kit. And if we look down the characters as well, they're left, right? So it's not going to be an Ewok. Although I imagine Leia has Ewok synergy because obviously you have a character in episode 6. She won't have synergy with herself because that's from episode 5. Same with him, episode 5. I doubt those two have synergy with her. He obviously is an Empire, so never going to be him. Drogan. CLS, they're saying no. Bush Leia, obviously Jabba the Hutt. 3PO and Chewie. See, 3PO and Chewie are part of the CLS team, so I can't see how that's going to work. And the same with Lobot. I mean, they can't. Lobot's not a rebel, so they can't take it. So I'm curious who the last two are going to be. Obviously, in the first group of characters, it was Lando, so maybe Lando could be. Like, Lando would make sense actually, because Lando's not really used in any team at all. So Lando would be a good Force character if they could find a way to make him stronger to fit in better. That would be really impressive. Of course, he hits really big with his AOE, and he gets cooldown reduction on critical hits. If I remember correctly, it's been a long time since they used Lando in any real sense. But I can imagine Lando being the Force character. Rex, maybe? I'd like to be Rex. Interesting. And then obviously it tells you the list of characters here that are used for the raid. You can kind of read into some of this about characters because presumably the way it's written here, right? These characters here. Got into that. That's about right. Oh, I missed. Oh, okay. Sorry, Wicked. So these characters here, I can actually. Oh my goodness me! Here's one I prepared earlier. No, these characters here, they must have a team for Leia inside these characters already, because Leia's team wouldn't miss one of the characters for the raid, right? That would be stupid, right? If they had a Leia team in Arena and Grand Arena, but then they didn't have that team working in the raid, that would be stupid. And I can't imagine this group here. It's Wicked as well, but I'm not going to do it because I'm going to mess it up again. The Ewoks can't be it, surely, which means it's got to be in these guys here, right? And if we're saying that Scout Trooper obviously is, like Princess Niece is an Ewok and Scout Trooper is an Empire character, those two can't be. So realistically, we're talking Leia and Drogan, obviously. We know those two for sure. And then it's pick 3 from Rex down to Luke, right? And they're saying Luke's not going to be part of it, so we'll take Luke out of the equation. And then realistically, Rex is part of the Phoenix Squad. And then if you're going to keep CLS's team together, that's C-3PO, Han, Chewie. Not Han, Chewie not included in this, though, weirdly. Because I guess he's episode 5, so this is episode 6 film. So I guess that would be the case. But you have to assume that these 3 characters wouldn't be it either. And Hera's part of Phoenix Squad, so that's with him, so that would be her gone. So I know, I look at this list, I'm like, Leia... R2-D2's not on this list. What? Okay, that's really weird. They're saying in the Drogan kit that R2-D2 is likely to be part of the team, basically. R2-D2, Drogan, Leia, and then I'm guessing Lando, because you have to level Lando, and he is an obvious one who's left out here, right? And Wedge? Lando and Wedge? Lando and Akbar, maybe? I'm trying to think how they're putting this team together here right now, because I can't imagine in the raid they would have not her best team. That would be really weird if you didn't have one of her characters, and R2-D2 is not there, but they have already called out him today. So very weird, very interesting this, right? How do you pull together a Leia team to make it work? But anyway, I'm just going on in circles upon circles. So, new kit for Captain Drogan, new type chips for Lobot, Leia discussion, which is interesting, and yes, I'm very curious as to how this is going to come together in her team. I'm not 100% sure yet how it works. And I'm not sure they do either, because if they're calling out R2-D2 as a main member of her team, but then they don't have R2-D2, who is on Endor as part of the Endor fight for the raid, I don't know what they're thinking. Anyway, I've drawn up for ages, so like, subscribe, follow, and so on, and just let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think the best Leia team is going to be? I don't actually know right now. So yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that. That is weird the way they're doing this, because that does not make sense. Anyway, be safe out there, guys, and goodbye for now.